night progresses, leading up to Edgar Berlanga, Xander Zayas, and John Bauza. And it's just this walk is something these young fighters dream of. Here at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden, you see those iconic lights up in the roof, the ceiling of the MSG. And let's send it into the ring where you see these young men ready to do something special. And Mark Chinook with the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we return to the action here inside the Hulu Theater at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. This is boxing. This is Top Rank, presented by Hall of Fame boxing promoter Mr. Bob Arum. This bout scheduled for 6 rounds in the welterweight division. Our judges at ringside, Bernard Bruni, Ron McNair, and Robert Perez. And the man in charge at the sound of the bell, Mr. Eric Dolly. Introducing first out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 147.8 pounds. Wearing zebra trunks with pink trim. He brings a record of 6 victories with only 1 defeat. 4 victories coming by way of knockout. From Rochester, New York, Tracey McGruder. Introducing out of the red corner. Presented in association with Antonio Leonard Promotions. He weighed in at 147.8 pounds. Wearing black trunks with gray trim. He brings a perfect record into the ring. 6 fights, 6 victories, 4 victories coming by way of knockout. From Deer Park, New York, Jahi Tucker.
MC's upstairs. There's Eddie. All right, guys. Bring it in. Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. Let me remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you. Thank you. Ronnie.
Jahi Tucker, 7 fights in 18 months, coming off of an uppercut knockout win January 15th. This kid gets elite sparring with Shakur Stevenson, Richard Comey, Mickey Bay, who will be in the corner of Edgar Berlanga, or has contributed to his work training for this fight in Las Vegas. Round 1 of a scheduled 6-rounder between Jahi Tucker and Tracey McGruder. Bernardo Osuna, Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward coming to you from the Hulu Theater at MSG. First time we've seen McGruder. Flashy. Fought twice in 2021. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, Bernardo, you got to be able to fight. You come in the ring like that. Like, your outfits can't outweigh your skill set.
Let him up.
Yeah. You ain't lying on that. I don't know if I can rock that, Dre.
I mean, you got to be a bad man to wear that.
Well, he's going to try to prove it. He's 1-1 since starting his career 5-0. Fighter out of Rochester, New York. So 2 upstate New York fighters. Jahi Tucker, great technical fighter. He was the #1 ranked amateur at 138 pounds in the United States. Takes a nice jab from McGruder here.
Yeah, Tucker's another skillful one, another young fighter you want to keep an eye on the way up. He's a little crude at times, but he's still evolving. He's still getting his feet settled in the pro game, and it's a lot different. People don't realize that. Even though the headgear was removed in the amateurs some years ago, it's just a different crowd, different energy. The lights are brighter, and the young fighter Tucker, even though he's been successful thus far, he's still getting his feet under him and learning these pro ranks.
Nice short left from Jahi Tucker, trained by his father, McConnell Tucker.
Jahi Tucker is not disciplined with his hands, guys. I mean, I love his offense. He knows how to punch in between shots. He's heavy-handed. But just being disciplined, dropping his hands when he's along the ropes, that is a bad sign and dangerous, extremely dangerous.
Nice left hook there from Jahi Tucker, but he's always open for that counter, as you mentioned, Tim. And it's always a matter of you can get away with it at a certain level, but at some point in your career, the fighters start to be just as quick as you. They hit just as hard as you do, and that's when those bad habits come home to roost.
Or just have good timing. And McGruder seems to have good timing. He stays under his feet, meaning he's always in position to punch. And he will take some shots, but then he's always under his feet to try to land a shot. And we've seen him do that a few times in his first round.
I love the creativity that Tucker has with his offense. You know, he'll shoot the jab, then he'll come around the guard with the left hook. Right there, you saw a left hook, and then a jab right down the middle. He brought the hands out, and then he brought a jab right up the middle. And sometimes he come behind that with a power shot with the right hand. Nice. Whoa. There it is.
Explosiveness here at the MSG Hulu Theater, and we will have Amanda Serrano, the 7-division champion, taking on Katie Taylor in the Big House. The first time women headline at Madison Square Garden. That'll be April 30th, going heads up against Valdez Stevenson. She is the undisputed champion, one of the best in the world, one of the best pound-for-pound females in the world. She'll be taking on Katie Taylor, and guys, that's going to be an amazing fight as well.
You know, I just hope that, you know, my phone will be working at the same time, because we're going to be calling the Valdez-Shakur Stevenson fights around the same time, so I don't want to miss that.
We're not going to be watching that fight, right? We're going to be totally focusing on our work, right, Tim?
No,
right?
yes, kind of.
Well, how about the promoters listen to what Shakur Stevenson said they should do and stagger the start times of the main event?
That's
you know, Shakur's going to be on the West Coast against Valdez in Vegas at the MGM.
Yes.
All right, hopefully the ladies get it started a little earlier.
That's not how business goes.
Hopefully it does.
I think that's good business, though.
Great
no,
business.
No, that's not how business goes, guys. You know, everything in life is about competition.
I'm just saying the main event needs to be staggered. The fight cards can go on.
Everything is about competition in life, period.
And the older Tim gets,
yes,
the positivity and the optimism goes along with the age.
I do got optimism.
Preach, Dre, preach.
I'm just keeping it 100, man.
I'm a grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge.
Hey, if it was a perfect world, I think that'd be all right. I mean, that makes sense.
Let us dream.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right, man. Boxing promoters don't always make all the sense in the world. We've seen that before.
You know there's no logic in boxing.
Not a lot. Not a lot. But back to Tucker.
Wow.
This shot right there from Tucker is, if you see him when he's not punching, you see his hands going every which direction.
Yep.
Watch him right now. They're not in position to punch, so he has to bring them up in position, and then he has to throw the punch. And if you have a decent opponent, which McGruder is, he can see that, and a lot of times he'll tip him off, and he'll get out of the way. The same can be said about Tucker's defense. His hands are down, down, down. McGruder throws a quick shot. Oh, I didn't get my hands up in time. So placement and the hand discipline means that the fighter has to have the punches and the arms on the runway in position to either defend or to land the punch.
He's getting a little too
Tucker
cute
has to learn that. Yes, he has to learn that as the competition gets stiffer.
Because the jabs coming back will get stiffer. The power will be a lot better. The timing, the speed.
You know what that is, right?
What is it?
Technique. Technique. The most important element in boxing. Technique. You, just as you said, if your technique is right, your power's going to be there. Your speed's going to be there. You know, it's not no loose ends there. So when you're swinging, having to lift your arms up, guess what? That's taking more out of you. Having to lift your arms up high to shoot a shot. Imagine if he's throwing them right from the chin. A lot quicker, less energy.
Shorter distance to get there.
McGruder actually has better hand placement and discipline than Tucker.
Yep.
Doesn't do a lot of movement. He keeps that right hand up by his chin to block against the left hook and to fire a right hand. And you just saw that counter right there that he landed because he rolled. He didn't move his hand. He just turned, and he landed the shot.
McGruder's a more technical fighter, but Tucker, at just 19 years old, has the speed, the quickness. The fans are getting
He's got
a little...
a better engine.
Yeah.
Tucker's got a better engine.
This is a real good matchup right here. A test for Tucker. You know, he hit the guy on the chin multiple times. He ain't going anywhere. Most of the time when he hits guys, they go down.
Round 2 is in the books here at the Hulu Theater, and Steve Rolls told our mark for.
Well, you got to know that if Rolls is going to be in the wheelhouse of Berlanga, he's in the wheelhouse to get hit. So I don't think he's going to be throwing to the body as freely as he did against that guy. But if if he starts to get a rhythm, starts to land some shots on Berlanga and gets confident, he may feel comfortable.
Yeah, comfort zone against Berlanga could be a dangerous place to be in as well, because there's always something coming back at you. And Tucker's in his comfort zone, feeling himself. His hands are up a little bit more here in round number 3. Maybe his dad got in his grill about it.
I'm just looking, honestly, I'm just worried. I'm looking at the psychology of Tucker. You know, he's hit this guy many times, McGruder many times with hard shots, and he hasn't went anywhere. And sometimes a fighter can get discouraged when he hits a guy and they don't get hurt. Typically what he sees most of the time he's inside the ring. So right now I want to see what type of new skill are we going to see from Tucker. Can he figure things out? Is he going to be more aggressive, less aggressive? Is he going to fight on the back foot? Let's see.
Even though Tucker's the bigger name, McGruder has an amateur pedigree. He's 6-1. He's a good fighter. He's not just some guy off the street.
Absolutely not. He's won a couple of majority decisions in his pro career in his home state of Alabama. And here he gets clipped with a nice shot from Jahi Tucker.
Let him go, man. Let him go. Work your hands free.
McGruder holding, gets clipped with a short left hook.
Looked like that was an open glove from Tucker, so it didn't land. It landed clean, but it probably didn't have the power that it should have had on it because Tucker didn't have a closed fist.
McGruder might just felt offended.
Yeah, I would have felt offended too. The slap is worse than a good punch landing.
Come on, man. Hey, slapping hurt too. Get me wrong. You don't be seeing them videos where them dudes be slapping each other and they get knocked out. Slap hurts too. Shoot. Ooh.
McGruder put everything behind that shot. Partially blocked and partially landed.
Nice double left hook, and then the short right counter from McGruder. Tucker starting to feel a groove here, but he can't get too comfortable against McGruder.
McGruder's looking for a shot. You see him ducking down, and he's looking for Tucker to make a mistake so he can leap up with a big shot. And guys that are typically outclassed and outskilled, that's what they're going to look for. One big shot. They want you to make a mistake to help them out.
And Tucker makes enough mistakes on his own that you don't have to goad him into one.
Yes, he does.
Box.
See, Tucker right now looking to play defense right now. You know, that was a high-power offense he did in this round. Now look at him against the ropes trying to rest.
Took a couple of shots there from McGruder, who gains confidence and then gets caught with a nice right hand from Jahi Tucker, and now it's starting to heat up.
This is exactly what I wanted to see.
All right, we may see some great power.
Some adversity. You have to realize that praise is fleeting. They'll love you today, and then tomorrow they're wondering if you're even the guy that they thought you were. All of that humbles you. All of that makes you go deep into your bag and become a better fighter. So I want to see if he's made adjustments and if he's different tonight.
All right, so far tonight, Jahi Tucker's landed 55 of 136 at a 40% clip. Just 3% better than McGruder, who's connected on only 38 of 102.
McGruder can actually do more if he would believe. Now you see, he had a good sequence in that last round. Now you see him talking, making sounds. He's feeling good, but he could have did this earlier. He's a good fighter. And Tucker, like we've been mentioning, makes a lot of mistakes. So McGruder, if he's going to try to make a move, it's right now in round 4.
And as the fight progresses, the fatigue sets in and the mistakes become more present.
They become magnified. But it only happens if McGruder starts to make Jahi Tucker pay for those mistakes.
Yeah, he's got to do his part. He can't just expect Tucker to, you know, just lay down. Tucker's got a good engine, meaning he's in good condition. He's willing to fight. He presses the action. So McGruder's got to try to discourage him, and that's only going to happen by landing shots like he did at the end of round 3.
If I'm in McGruder's corner, what I'm telling McGruder is, go down to this young man's body. He's 19 years old. We got to take something out of him. You know, he's fading a little bit, let off the gas a bit. Now it's time to punish him down to the body.
And punch with him. McGruder just did that. When Tucker throws, throw with him. Or when Tucker's done throwing, immediately fire right back because Tucker pulls back. His hands are bad. We just talked about that. And his chin is typically exposed. And that's the right time to catch Jahi Tucker.
See, it's a better round for McGruder. You know, pressing forward, got Jahi Tucker on his back foot. Just need to let his hands go, and I believe that he can win this round if he does so.
Work your hands. Let's go. Pull it on now. Work out of that.
You know, whether you come into a fight as the A side, the guy who's supposed to win, or the B side, the guy who's probably not going to win, you have to make up your mind what you're willing to accept. And for McGruder, he's got to make up his mind. He's in his home state right now. He's from Rochester. Did you come here to win, or did you come here just to be a part of this event? And if he wants to win, again, this is the time for him to make his move.
We've mentioned it over the last few weeks that it's a reality of boxing that there's hometown fighters, and sometimes they get hometown decisions. Not that this one is headed that way, because Jahi Tucker has done enough in the early 3 rounds to be a clear ahead on the scorecards, but McGruder needs to understand that and be realistic about that. And there's only one way to win, and that's fighting Jahi Tucker. And so far, he's just stepping back every single time, and that's just not the way to do it tonight. We'll listen in to his father, McGruder Tucker.
Stay downstairs on him. He up top is about to stay downstairs. You'll get him. You understand me? Every now and again, go back up top, but stay downstairs and keep using the jab. I'm telling you. You understand? Pretty simple. You understand me? Hey, Phil. All right, now. Hey, you look good. Stay busy with that jab. All right?
So McGruder Tucker wants Jahi Tucker to follow the blueprint that Shushu Carrington used in his fight and go to the body of Tracey McGruder.
Yeah, that's good instruction. I get it.
But how, though?
Yeah.
That's the what, but how? How do I come behind my jab, slip inside, and then go to the body? Do I counter after he throws, if I'm in position to throw to the body? That's the part that's missing in the instructions of Tucker, because right now I'm seeing the same rhythm and the same approach from Tucker round in and round out. And McGruder doesn't seem to be the right guy to capitalize on that tonight, but moving forward, it could be a problem.
To be honest with you, this doesn't look like the Tucker that I'm familiar with seeing. You know, that explosion is not there. And it could be
stiffer competition.
Yeah, it could be because, you know, he's in there with a guy that actually know how to fight back.
Yeah.
But still, he's not explosive as I normally see him.
We talk about there being levels to the game. Well, the level of competition is somewhat improving. He's got a competent opponent inside the ring against him tonight, who's now working to the body.
Now he's going down to the body. And
that's okay. We want the young fighters to be tested on the way up at the right amount, the right increment. But the problem that I'm having with Tucker is he's making the same mistakes round in and round out, and the same mistake, good body shot right there from Tucker that we've seen in his previous fights. So that's the problem that I'm having right now with this performance. He's winning, he's doing his thing, but he's got to tighten up those defensive flaws, those offensive flaws, if he's going to be enforcing this sport.
Let's go.
And this is not a good look for Jahi Tucker.
I'm telling you right now, mentally right now, he's really not in this fight. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but
Don't hold the rope.
Jahi Tucker, he's normally a firecracker in there.
Remember what I told you about hitting in the back. Don't do it, man. Let's go.
And Tucker's done this before, where he starts tucking and clowning around.
Yes, the lack of concentration from him right now.
I just think he's overdoing it, fellas. I just think he thinks that's entertainment, and, you know, he wants to be exciting. And the way that you're exciting is to get off, shine, do your thing, and then if you want to showboat after that, then so be it. But you can't showboat if it's a dead round or a dead moment. It's just not the right time.
Dre, this is why it's important to work on every aspect of your game, because when you get in there and you hit a guy and he doesn't go to sleep, then what else do you have to depend on? And this is what we see from Tucker right now. Yes, he's boxing, but very little power on those shots. Moving a lot, making a lot of mistakes, as you alluded to.
Work your hands free. Let him go. Work out of that.
We've mentioned the slapping shots throughout this fight. We've seen it before from him, and you know, it's a lot to pick apart. And very little improvement, you know, that we've seen now into his 7th pro fight.
Well, he's been getting knockouts. He's been getting knockouts after knockouts. That's what happens.
They mask the mistakes.
They mask the mistakes, absolutely.
Watch your heads in
All right,
there.
let's listen to his father, Lieutenant Tucker, see if he gets
Respect the belt, baby.
into him a little bit about what just
Last
happened.
round, right?
Tired.
Looked like he got hurt.
Nah, he's tired.
Hey, last round, we're touching gloves,
Look, I
guys.
see you chilling in there, and that's fine, but listen what I'm trying to say to you. Triple up the hooks, man. The body. Last round, we're touching gloves. All right. You good? All right. Listen up. Again, keep it simple. Simple. Hey, keep it simple.
You got his father talking to him. You got another gentleman talking to him. I mean, he doesn't know what he needs to do right now. But got his arms rested up on the ropes. He needs to bring those arms down so he get the blood down in those arms.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
What he was trying to do was catch his breath.
He's tired.
Second time?
Yeah, he didn't come
All
out.
right, come here,
That's the biggest issue I see right
Come on,
now.
guys,
It's
go
just
back, go back,
conditioning.
keep
It's
going.
not up to par this time around.
You talk about 19 years old, Dre, and first time being 6 rounds. We'll see how his conditioning pulls up here in the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, and this isn't like,
Come on now, let's go.
you know,
Work out there. Let's go.
we're not coming down
Let 'em go.
on
Pull that
Jahi
arm
Tucker
out.
for the
Let's
sake
go.
of doing it. Like, these guys, we want them to get tested, and then when they're tested, we have to allow them to be tested without overly critiquing. And I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying I just want the fans to know at home, we're pointing out things that are going to be a problem, not just tonight, but moving forward. And we've seen these same problems and these same mistakes, good exchanges from both guys right here in the previous fight. So that lets us know that things aren't changing. And again, they have to change or it's going to be a problem in his fights that are to come.
And I think that's what we're talking about. This is a night for prospects to come out and shine. And we've seen what young men like Kelvin Davis, like Armani Almastica, Bruce Carrington blowing the lights out of this place, and Henry LeBron have done. And Jahi Tucker should be on that list of guys to look out for, but he leaves something to be desired in his performances, and that's all we're pointing out.
And you can also shine by going through adversity and coming out on top. It's not always just a Carrington type of stoppage or knockout, but he's not making the adjustments, and I'm not hearing the right instructions in the corner, and that's concerning.
Bad habits are hard to break, and great habits lead to greatness, especially in a sport as punishing as boxing.
Yeah, but this is a good thing for him, honestly. This will get him back on track. Like I told you, his conditioning doesn't seem up to par. Concentration is lacking this time around. He can go back to the drawing board. Going through this type of adversity is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Because if you're not tested on the way up, eventually you will be tested and you won't be ready. And Top Rank has mastered the matchmaking game. They know how to put a young fighter in with the right opponent at the right time where they're going to get touched, they're going to answer some questions, and they're going to see exactly what they have. That's the point, is matching the young fighter with the right competition, good right hand right there from McGruder at the right time. You can't have, that's what we're talking about with Berlanga right now, is the first round knockouts. He's been a pro almost 6 years, but he's got a handful of rounds. You need those rounds. You need to go through something to be ready as you step up the competition. Nobody's exempt.
There's not
I got you. Step back.
a formula, but there's a reason that Jahi Tucker was a #1 ranked amateur in the U.S. in such a hot division as 138 pounds. I mean, the talent is there, but you got to keep developing as a pro. What you did as an amateur is great, but it's a new slate. And guess what? These are men coming at you.
Good show.
All right.
Good show, bro.
So that's the way this fight comes to an end after 6 rounds. We have a very special guest.
I get him when you got him.
U.S. heavyweight contender, undefeated Jared Anderson. 80,000 fans just yelling and screaming because he's gotten a lot of love. A good promotion by his sparring partner, who also happens to be the heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. Let's send it up to Mark Schindler for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden after 6 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Bernard Bruni scores the bout 60-54. Ron McNair and Robert Perez score the bout 59-55. For your winner by unanimous decision, Jahi Tucker.
So Jahi Tucker comes away with the unanimous decision here inside the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. He's 7-0 now with 4 knockouts as a professional. All right, we hope you'll join us on